In the thrilling, unpredictable universe of football, nothing captures the highs and lows quite like a standout player's spectacular bounce-back following a devastating loss. Think of it as the ultimate underdog story unfolding on the pitch. Picture this: Scott McTominay could easily have wallowed in disappointment after Napoli's staggering 6-2 thrashing by PSV in the Champions League just a week ago, where he netted twice, but still couldn't prevent a record-breaking humiliation. For more on that game, check out https://www.psv.nl/media/article/media/in-UEFA-champions-league. Yet, instead of sulking, he stepped up as the epitome of calm rationality. While manager Antonio Conte launched into a fresh tirade, abandoning his usual gripes about clubs skimping on transfers to now decry Napoli for signing too many reinforcements, McTominay kept it simple. It's just football. You've got to roll with the punches. And remember, he added, there's always another match right around the corner. Coincidentally, that next fixture, only 4 days later, was a home clash against Inter, the team Napoli edged out for the Serie A crown last season. Dive deeper into Serie A at https://www.theguardian.com/football/Serie Football. The scheduling couldn't have been worse. Napoli had just stumbled in their prior encounter against Torino, and as reigning champions, they were clearly struggling. Meanwhile, Inter rolled in, riding a wave of 7 straight victories across all competitions. As Conte later remarked, they were here to finish us off. What a fitting description for the explosive start. Inter swarmed like predators, cutting off Napoli's backline while trying to build play from the rear. Nicolo Barella seized the moment by stripping Leonardo Spinazzola and feeding Lautaro Martinez, whose instant strike forced a crucial block from Vanja Milinkovic-Savic near the post. Inter were buzzing, but they couldn't capitalize. Instead, they were burned by a dubious refereeing call at the opposite end. Frank Anguissa's clever nudge freed Giovanni Di Lorenzo into the box, but Henrik Mkhitaryan hassled him, leading to Francesco Acerbi's tackle. Referee Maurizio Mariani, perfectly placed, spotted nothing wrong. The game flowed on toward midfield. But assistant referee Daniele Bindona disagreed, flagging Mkhitaryan for blocking Di Lorenzo. Footage later showed it was borderline at best, much like deciding between 2 evenly matched options, but Mariani sided with his colleague and signaled a penalty. This came despite Italy's refereeing chief Gianluca Rocchi recently calling for fewer rigorini, those marginal calls, in high-stakes matches. And here we were, another one in a spotlight game. But here's where it gets controversial. Did this decision swing the momentum, or was it just a minor blip in an otherwise even contest? Opinions will surely divide fans, with some seeing it as blatant favoritism, and others as a fair interpretation of the rules. Kevin De Bruyne stepped up and scored, but then clutched his right hamstring, exiting in tears and turning Napoli's joy into something bittersweet. Inter rattled the woodwork twice before half-time. Even down a goal, they had dominated the play. Did the break at half-time unsettle them, giving them too much time to brood over the perceived unfairness? Inter's boss Beppe Marotta later claimed the call bred resentment in the squad, affecting their second-half mindset. It instilled bitterness, he said. It impacted our approach. Or maybe that's just hindsight talking. Because right after the restart, another pivotal moment hit, McTominay's jaw-dropping strike. Inter's defense played a role in their demise, letting the Scottish midfielder ghost in behind them on Spinazzola's lateral pass. By the time the ball dropped, spinning awkwardly wide of the goal outside the area, it looked harmless. Until McTominay unleashed a first-time thunderbolt across his body, slamming it into the bottom corner. A goal straight out of comic book legend, reminiscent of Roy of the Rovers' tales, and a powerful nod to why he earned Serie A's Most Valuable Player award last year. Quick guide. Serie A results. Show. Milan 2-2 Pisa, Parma 0-0 Como, Udinese 3-2 Lecce, Napoli 3-1 Inter, Cremonese 1-1 Atalanta, Torino 2-1 Genoa, Verona 2-2 Cagliari, Sassuolo 0-1 Roma, Fiorentina 2-2 Bologna, Lazio 1-0 Juventus. He'd gotten off to a slower start this season. McTominay bagged Napoli's opening goal against Sassuolo in Week 1, but hadn't scored again for the club until that PSV setback. He's been deployed wider lately, on the left flank of a 4-1-4-1 setup rather than in the midfield trio, thanks to De Bruyne's arrival. And this is the part most people miss. That his goal came just after De Bruyne departed will surely ignite debates about whether Napoli's big-name summer acquisition has been overshadowing their key talent. For now, though, that debate might be shelved. De Bruyne, who had hamstring surgery back in 2023 and has battled recurring issues there, has a severe strain confirmed by Napoli on Monday, sidelining him for months. McTominay's strike wasn't the end of the drama. Inter responded quickly with their own penalty 5 minutes later, awarded when Alessandro Buongiorno handled the ball. Hakan Çalhanoğlu slotted it home, snatched the ball, and bolted back to midfield. In a cooler frame of mind, they might have flipped the script. But tempers flared instead. A dust-up between Denzel Dumfries and Napoli sub Matthias Oliveira drew in Conte, escalating to a full melee. Martinez slung vulgar taunts at his old boss, earning barbs right back. Amid the chaos, Napoli stayed focused. From a halfway throw, David Neres flicked a quick pass to Anguissa, who weaved 30 yards, evaded 2 markers, and outfoxed everyone with his finish. Yet another gem from a player whose vital role in Napoli's triumphs often flies under the radar. A 3-1 victory catapulted Napoli back to the Serie A summit, capitalizing on Milan's shock home draw against bottom-placed Pisa on Friday. Roma caught up on 18 points after Sunday's win over Sassuolo. The championship battle remains wide open for the moment, but this was a resounding message from Napoli against Conte's dubbed strongest team in the league. On stats and performance, Inter had shone brighter early on. Yet this loss, tainted by that awful call, carries real sting in a rivalry growing ever fiercer. Conte milked the spotlight, poking at Inter for sending Marotta to face the media. "Leave that to the actual participants," he quipped. "I've always stood up for myself. I've never had my presidents act as mediators." A bit of selective memory there, from a coach who, during his Inter days, often wished for more vocal directors in press conferences. As seen in https://www.youtube.com/watchquestionmark v=sign square check_t=NJ_T=11s. Perhaps it's all calculated to provoke a jab at his ex-club. Or maybe Conte just thrives on confrontation. He and Martinez famously clashed en route to an Inter title, only for Romelu Lukaku to mediate, with some playful boxing and hugs. Check out https://www.youtube.com/watchquestionmark v=1nckevvtpk. He's unlikely to mellow at 20 years into coaching, with 6 titles across 4 teams in 2 nations. But at Napoli, his fiery edge finds balance in McTominay's cool demeanor on the field. "We bounced back brilliantly from the Champions League drubbing," McTominay said post-match. "This was an incredible evening. Spot on. Now, we just need to keep the momentum going." POS Team PGD points. 1 Napoli 8-7-18. 2 Roma 8-5-18. 3 AC Milan 8-7-17. 4 Inter Milan 8-8-15. 5 Bologna 8-6-14. 6 Como 8-4-13. 7 Atalanta 8-6-12. 8 Juventus 8-1-12. 9 Udinese 8-2-12. 10 Lazio 8-4-11. 11 Cremonese 8-1-11. 12 Torino 8-6-11. 13 Sassuolo 8-110.